Hi, congratulations on completing day 1 of the Power Modeling Bootcamp. Yesterday, we learned about Excel formatting, which means that now you should feel pretty comfortable when formatting spreadsheets. Before we move forward and start day 2, I would like to invite you to download the answers for yesterday's homework. They come with this lecture. We hope you didn't cheat, by the way. We will start with lessons about Excel navigation, how to be fast when selecting cells, rows, columns, and how to work with shortcuts. We will also learn several different techniques that will allow you to be much more efficient and fast when using Excel. Don't forget to go through the course notes and exercise for this section. And yes, you have homework for tomorrow, so make sure it is ready. So, have fun watching the lessons, and don't be shy to post a discussion if you have questions. Hi, and welcome to this video brought to you by 365 Careers. In this section of the course, we are showing useful tips which aim to facilitate your work in Excel. The topic of this extract is fast scrolling through Excel sheets. When working with a vast amount of data, it is crucial to move fast within the sheet without losing precious time in order to scroll manually. The Excel shortcut for fast scrolling is Control plus one of the arrow keys. This command takes you to the last non-blank cell. Let's provide an example. Here we have a table which contains 15,000 rows. Is there a fast way to go to the end of the table? Currently, I'm in cell D4. By holding the Control key and pressing down arrow, I find myself instantly in row 15,121, which is the last non-blank cell. This command allows you to go in every direction, downwards, upwards, to the right, and to the left. If we want to select the cells, we have to hold Shift as well, in a manner that we will be pressing Control, Shift, and an arrow key at the same time. See? This allows me to quickly select large ranges of cells and work efficiently. This is how you can scroll fast and quickly select large cell ranges. Keyboard shortcuts are the favorite tool of experienced users. They allow you to save a lot of time, especially when the number of operations to be carried out on a specific slide is substantial. The universal Windows shortcuts can be applied. For example, if you would like to copy an item, you can use Control and C, while you can paste it with Control and V. The shortcut for cutting an item is Control and X. After we've cut an item, we can use Control and V and paste it into its new position. We can use these commands for text as well. We can easily find many keyboard shortcuts by using the Alt key. By pressing Alt without holding, we can activate the tabs for the ribbon. Then we can click the letter corresponding to the tab that we want to open. This approach is great as it allows you to access any command in Excel. It is very convenient to remember the letters for those combinations that you use very often. For example, I like to use the Alt-A-T command, which adds or removes a filter. I'll need to press Alt-A and T, and the filter will be created. See? It is very intuitive, and you can't forget where you're at as the letters are there to help you. A slight setback for some users is the fact that some of the Alt shortcuts include 3, 4, or more letters. Most people don't like memorizing that many letters. These users often find the quick access toolbar buttons as a preferable alternative to long shortcuts. Quick access toolbar buttons are a good way to save time and have the most frequently used commands a single click away. We can add every command that is contained in the 9 tabs right here in the upper left part of the screen. Let's demonstrate how to do that. I will click on the File tab and select Options. Once I am in the Options menu, I can select Quick Access Toolbar, where I can find all of the commands within Excel. I'll use the drop-down menu, next to which is written Choose Commands From, in order to find the commands that I am looking for. Once I have found a command of interest, it will be added to Quick Access Toolbar by clicking on the Add button. If I would like to remove a command from the Quick Access Toolbar, I will use the Remove button instead. You do not have to perform these operations every time you start a new presentation, as each modification of the Quick Access Toolbar will already be available. I added the Add or Remove Filters button to the Quick Access Toolbar. Now I can select the data on the sheet, click on the button with my mouse, and here's the filter that was added to the selected row. Now, I would like to show you a very interesting technique that would allow you to use the Quick Access Toolbar buttons through the keyboard. By pressing Alt and one of the numbers that we see in the upper left part of the screen, we will trigger the respective command. Given that the first button in my Quick Access Toolbar is the Add Remove Filter command, I can press Alt and 1, and this would remove the filter that was added. I'll press Alt and 1 again, and the filter will be added. Note that we are using only two keys, Alt and a number. That's perfect, right? Easy to remember and fast to execute. Thanks for watching. Welcome back. In this video, we will learn more about the freeze panes functionality of Excel. Whenever you have to deal with a table or data which goes out of the visible part of the screen, it is advisable to use freeze panes, as it allows you to see the title of the table even if you're scrolling down. In order to freeze the third row of this table, where I have the titles of the various columns, I'll select the row below, the fourth row, go to the menu bar, and select View, Freeze Panes. And once there, I'll pick the first option, Freeze Panes. Let's take a look at what happened. If I scroll down the data, the third row remains visible, and we can see our titles. In case I want to remove the freezing of the third row, I'll go to the menu bar, select View, go to Freeze Panes, and click on Unfreeze Panes. This is how we can freeze a row or column of a table in Excel. Thanks for watching. Hi! In this lecture, we will learn how to split the Excel window into separate parts. Yup, you can do that too. This sheet is both wide and large enough, so at some point you may need to work with cells that are distant from each other. Split Screen is the right tool to help you see both parts of the spreadsheet simultaneously. There are a couple of ways to split the screen, either horizontally or vertically. To split the screen horizontally, you must select a cell from the first column, A, of the table, and then, in the View tab of the ribbon, press the Split button. OK. A thin gray line appears across the top border of the selected cell and the rest of the screen. The two sides you see here are called panes. So here's the deal. You can work in the upper pane any way you like. The same is valid for the lower pane. It is as though you have opened the same sheet twice, but you have opened it just once. Look how moving down does not affect the lower pane, unless the same cell is visible on both parts of the screen. That's it. Split Screen is there if you need it. You can move the separating line by pressing and dragging to the place where you want it to be. To remove it, you can either release the Split button under the View tab or merely double-click with the mouse over the gray line. Pretty intuitive, right? Usually, you will need to split the screen vertically. To do that, select a cell from the first row of the sheet and repeat the same operation. Press the Split button. To move from pane to pane, just click on a cell and Excel will automatically direct its attention to the relevant pane. See, I am currently on the right. But if I click here, the left pane will suddenly become the one I am navigating in. I will remove the splitting line now by double-clicking on it, and will show you one last option. You can even split the screen into 4 panes, both horizontally and vertically at the same time. Here, you shouldn't select a cell from column A or row number 1. Instead, you need to select a cell that lies in the mid part of the sheet. This is the only difference. Splitting the screen in 4 can be a bit confusing rather than helpful, but it depends on what works best for you. Just see how, by using the combination of Control and the arrow keys, I can get to the 4 corners of the sheet. This means I can see distant cells simultaneously. To remove both the horizontal and the vertical lines simultaneously, click on the point where they meet. Because if you clicked on the horizontal line only, you would still have a left and right pane. Right, so let's remove both lines. Done. This is how we can split the screen and work with multiple panes at the same time. Thanks for watching. Hi everybody. In this short video, we'll show you how to name cell ranges and what the potential application of this functionality is. In the table on the left, we have a 2-year breakdown of sales. Let's select the cells from C4 to C7, and in the box on the upper left part of our screen, we can type Sales 12. I'll do that in this box right here. Now, let's select the range of 2013 sales from D4 to D7 and name it Sales 13. Okay, perfect. We named the 2 ranges. Let's put these names in use. First of all, we need to calculate the total for the 2 years. If I go to C8 and type sum and within brackets write Sales 12, I'll obtain the sum of the range which was named earlier. The same goes for the total number of sales in 2013. What if we use the name ranges in a formula without a function in front of them? For example, can I type Sales 12 plus Sales 13? The formula produces an error because we can only sum the sum of ranges, and we cannot sum ranges themselves. Name ranges should be used only within formulas and can facilitate our work when entering the arguments of a new formula. Thanks for watching. Hi, this is another video of our useful tips section. The next functionality that we will be discussing is data validation. In this sheet, we have a table which has one blank column, product group. Let's suppose that we know that there are only 2 possible values for the fields in this range. We might want to create a drop-down menu, which would allow us to select the product group category for each row. The way to do that is data validation. First of all, we have to select the range of cells for which we would like to create a drop-down menu. Once we have done that, we can go to Data and click on the Data Validation box. In the first window which opens, we can select as validation criteria List and indicate which are the values in our list. Once we have done that, our drop-down menu is ready, and we can select the correct entries for each of the rows. Please note that if we try to type within these cells, we will receive an error message. Error messages can be switched off by going to the Data Validation menu, selecting the third window, Error Alert, and unclicking the first box. Once this is done, even if we type over the cells of the range something different, we will not receive an error message. That pretty much covers getting familiar with data validation. Thanks for watching. Right, so in this lecture, we will talk about the functionality of the F keys of your keyboard. We will do this by providing a few examples that will show their most frequent application. Pay attention to the F2 key. Most professionals use this key as a shortcut that allows them to edit a given cell. Select a cell and then press F2. From this moment on, the formula bar becomes your editing field. F2 is really helpful. Every time you need to manipulate text or formulas, you will have to activate the formula bar to be able to edit a cell's content. F4 is quite handy as well. It plays an important role when typing formulas or editing the formatting of cells. F4 repeats your last action. For example, I can add a new row with the Control and plus shortcut. Okay? If I want to carry out the same action for another cell, I simply select it and press F4. See? The same action was carried out again. When working with a large sheet and you need to use many keys across multiple cells, F4 proves to be a real time saver. F5 and F11 are buttons that will be discussed in more detail. To put it briefly, F5 allows you to jump to different sheets or named ranges in your workbook, while F11 assists with quick chart creation. More on that later in the course. Do you remember the split screen lecture? Right. In this lecture, we saw how to use multiple panes and simultaneously see multiple parts of a worksheet. It is good to show you there is a quick way to navigate between panes through the F6 button, especially if you want to use the keyboard and get rid of the mouse. F6 is quite useful. See how quickly I can jump from one pane to the next one? Awesome! Another F key that is worth mentioning is F8. It is a combo of two actions, pressing the left mouse button and holding it. If you press F8, you can select an area with adjacent cells, either with the mouse or with the arrows of the keyboard. Therefore, we can call this function anchoring the beginning of a range. F8 is useful when you have to work with a large dataset and you need to grasp a larger chunk of information. Observe what I am doing now. I click on this cell up here in the left corner. I press F8, and I easily scroll down to the spot where I will find the end of the range. I select this cell and press Enter. Nice, right? The last useful F key we will see in this lecture is F9. The formula you see here contains results from other calculations. In Supermarket A, we have an order of 10, 4, and 5 kilos of apples, oranges, and bananas, respectively. While in Supermarket B, the values of the orders for the same fruits are 5, 18, and 7. At the bottom of the table, a total has been calculated. So, as a supplier of apples and bananas, the truck of Company C must be loaded with 110% of the amount needed by both supermarkets. So here's the formula that calculates the amount. I will press F2 to activate the formula bar. And if I want to edit the formula, I might wonder, wait, what was the value of cell D6? Well, by selecting D6 in the formula bar and then pressing F9, I can get an answer immediately. D6 is a formula. It is a sum of the two cells that are above. So I do get the result. Moreover, I can select the number before D6 as well, and again take advantage of F9. It makes the formula much easier to work with. If you press Enter, the formula will be re-recorded with the numerical values inside. So, to avoid this situation, after using F9, it is better to press the Escape key. This was a short example which provided a hint of how F9 functions and how it can be used in practice. However, in situations when you work with large datasets and you have to work with multiple sheets, you will definitely need this functionality, as it allows you to pause and reflect on the result obtained while typing a long formula. This is it for now. Thank you for watching. All right, excellent. We are making excellent progress. Let's keep up the good work, please. In this lesson, I will show you how to copy and paste only the cells that are actually displayed on your screen. What do I mean by that? As you can see, this is a large table. At some point, while working on the spreadsheet, I could decide that I will hide some unnecessary columns. Suppose I wanted to select an area and paste it here. Ha! Really? Excel pasted even the hidden cells, and that's not what I intended to do. The right way to copy and paste these cells is by using the Select Visible Cells Only functionality. There are a couple of ways to do this. First, we have to select the area to be copied. Then we can open the Find and Select functionality, which can be found either on the Home tab or through a shortcut. I will select Go to Special. From the box that opens, pick Visible Cells Only, and if I press OK, I will have selected only the visible cells in the range. This is what this box will allow me to do, and this is how I can paste these cells. The ones that are hidden were not selected. Excellent! The thin gray line you see here is Excel's indication that we have selected visible cells only. This is the right time to copy the selected area. And if I paste it over here, boom! Only the visible cells are pasted. The second way to carry out this operation is very different. Instead of using the Find and Select button, it will be easier and faster to apply a shortcut, which is Alt plus semicolon. And then the steps that must be carried out are exactly like the ones that we saw earlier. Piece of cake. This was a nice way to conclude this section, wouldn't you agree? Don't skip the exercises and the quiz questions, and go back to refresh and solidify what you just learned, because it will be invaluable when you use Excel in the future. Thank you for watching.